Hey, it's Alexis from Smart Sips, and with this channel, I am trying to dip my toe into AI, but also provide some use cases and context in which you can have a go as well. So, in this video, I'm just going to talk about a couple of things that I've been using AI for this week. The first one is a budget tracker. Me, personally, I only work 2 days a week, so the money that I earn needs to stretch quite a long way. And so mostly I have just been spending month by month and not really saving for any kind of additional costs like a haircut or if I need to go and see a physio, etc. So I thought, right, I'm going to get my finances in order. I listened to a podcast, the Mel Robbins podcast, and she had loads of financial experts on there talking about how do we manage our money better. What am I going to do in order to be a little bit better with my money? I don't really track where it goes. And at the end of the month, I'm in my overdraft every single month. So what I have done is used Claude to talk to it about my finances. And I asked it to set up a very easy dashboard spreadsheet where you can obviously modify the prices. So if you're earning a different amount of money each month, you then can tailor it so that it is automatically dividing up your pots and your money. Obviously, in an ideal world, I would have had this set up already, but I just am really bad with setting up anything like this and following through on it. Like I said, I talked to Claude. I asked Claude to give me some questions so that I did have that to and fro conversation with Claude, and also what things are important to me. For example, if you've got gym classes that you need to pay for, sometimes you have an appointment that is only every 6 to 8 weeks, like a hair appointment, or you might have your nails done, for example. And those are quite big budget items if you are only earning like a small amount of salary. Also, still trying to contribute to the household, even though I'm not the main breadwinner, I still want to feel like I'm inputting some money there as well. But also then not feeling like I don't have enough money for myself. Again, like thinking about clothes, you don't buy clothes every single month, but what you can do is obviously create some pots or some kind of money that you're going to put aside for these types of things. And also, I'm not really saving any money. So again, thinking about just really small, minute amounts, and then hopefully that compound interest will build up, even if it's only £5 or £10 a month. Over the course of a year, you will have some money that you might be able to do what you want with. And again, I know everybody's financial situations are different. Some people are earning more or less. They might have more financial responsibilities. So it's just about making sure that you are thinking about where your finances are actually going, because sometimes we do spend money and we're not actually realizing actually what we're spending our money on. Now, obviously, I didn't share any sensitive information with Claude other than monetary values. I didn't put statements in or anything like that. Obviously, it'd be a great tool if you could just basically let the banking app sort out all of your statements and actually work out where you're spending your money. Like, for example, if you're buying too much coffee on a monthly basis, and then see how that compounds over time. But of course, I don't want to give my sensitive data and information to AI. And also, if you're comfortable with sharing your salary, for me, I'm not that bothered because it's just a number on a spreadsheet. So I went through and worked through all the different outgoings that I've got. I do have a couple of subscriptions for like health products that I use, but I do need to build up a little bit of a pot for makeup, clothes, and then any other additional things. And I don't really set myself a weekly budget either. So I'm going to try to, when I get paid, make sure that I'll allocate all my money out to all of these various different things, and also just make sure that I've got savings and pension contributions all factored in with my spreadsheet, or obviously it does it like a dashboard. If there's any glitches or things that you don't like about it, the great thing with AI is that you can just have a discussion with it, you can update it. I did actually run out of tokens when I did it on Claude. So then I copied and pasted the code and put it into Gemini, and I got Gemini to do the last final bits for me. So again, use the different interfaces and platforms. So if you do run out of questions or tokens, I just lifted it out of one and put it in the other. It did come out with a slightly different setup. So in Claude, it was a beautiful little dashboard setup. But then in Gemini, it did it as a Excel document that then went into my Google Workspace. So both worked fine, and it was actually quite nice to see the difference between the two different interfaces and how they do things. The other thing I've used it for this week is a fitness buddy. So I like to keep fit, but I like to do a range of different activities. I play hockey in the winter season. I've started swimming once a week, and I also do a HIIT class once or twice a week as time allows. And so I've got my smartwatch, and I like to track some different things. Now, the main thing that I've really noticed a massive difference with is I was a really weak swimmer, and one of my friends got me involved and said, come swimming with me. And since September, week on week, I've tried to go at least once a week, and I've really noticed a great improvement. I'm still quite a weak swimmer, but some of the things that's really good is in my app on my phone. Again, think about the data that you're providing. It's only got my name and then obviously the data and the information from that workout. So I normally just screenshot the information it's given me. And then I've got a ongoing chat that I just feed this information in. So occasionally I track my HIIT class, but not often, but it's mainly my swim. And when I was playing hockey, I was chucking that data in as well. And it's just really insightful in terms of what types of information it gives you and why your performance might be the way it is. So, for example, it gave me really decent information about how to improve my swimming style. So I gave it a couple of bits of information in terms of trying strengthening my swimming and improving swimming. And then also other things like if I had a cold or if I had a sports injury or if I had a bad back, it just gives you a little few pointers. And also it's a little bit like a cheerleader. So I quite liked the fact that if I was putting this data in, it was giving me that little bit of a bump to say, yes, keep going. And next time try this. And I look forward to seeing your data in your next swim, or, I look forward to seeing your hockey match and how far you've run or what's your highest sprint. And so it does give you that little bit of an incentive to stick to it. And I've definitely enjoyed tracking those things. And I went for a swim this week. I've popped it in. It's not always brilliant, but obviously then it can dissect some of that information and it give you some things that you can maybe focus on next time. Now, the last thing that I have been using AI for this week is preparing for interviews. Now, in previous videos, I've talked about the fact that I'm trying to upscale the skills that I've got in teaching, but also seeing what else is out there. I want a new challenge and seeing if there's other job opportunities out there. And one of the things that I really enjoyed this week is using, again, my CV, take off your personal information, delete that bit off. And using Notebook LM, I got my CV. So I added that into where the resources are, because you can upload resources as well. And I also got a job description for a job that I'm interested in. And what I did is I put them both in Notebook LM, and then I put a particular prompt in terms of what areas I've got to develop, but also how I might be a really good fit for the job. And then I proceeded to listen to a nice 7-minute long podcast about me and my jobs and what I've done in the past. And it's actually really lovely exercise to, again, it's a bit of a cheerleader, so he kind of picks you up. So I really enjoyed that. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about is I've started an Instagram account, SmartSips AI, and what I am looking at is just updated little bits of information, small snippets of AI news, and then obviously providing just a few reels or just some stories based on some of the stuff that I'm finding out about. Mainly, I've got Gemini to set up a daily update. It gives me an update of current news, and I pick out relevant stuff that we might be interested in. It might be skincare, fashion, different ways of using different tools, meditation techniques, and various things like that. So if that's something you're interested in, then head over to Instagram and find SmartSips AI and follow. Hopefully you'll find some really insightful bits of information, and it will just be small, manageable steps for you. So see you on Instagram.